Greetings to all of you who have joined us for this Tuesday webinar, and thank you for taking the time to join us today. My name is Troy Franklin, and I'm the managing partner of World Franchise Associates, and I'll be your moderator and one of the speakers for the webinar tonight. This webinar is brought to you by the Global Franchise Market as one of the organizers and the co-organizer of the Franchise Talk. The Global Franchise Market and the Franchise Talk are intellectual property of IndexConferences&Exhibitions. The Global Franchise Market being one of the leading and premier franchise expos in the GCC region, taking place annually in Dubai at the World Trade Center. In addition to myself today, as one of your speakers and the moderator, I'm also joined by Mr. Syed Riaz Ahmed, who is the International Expansion Manager for Saudi-based Burgerizer. Syed is also going to be supported and joined by the chairman of Burgerizer, Mr. Mohammed Al-Ruwaid. So we're honored to have Mr. Mohammed join and contribute to this webinar. And we'll also have Mr. Sayer Imad, the Group General Manager of Almed Retail, which is the parent company of JJ Chicken, based out of Dubai, U.A.E. So I'll spend a short while talking to you about some of the considerations and issues relating to GCC F B franchises and maybe some other regional franchises before handing it over to the Burgerizer team and the JJ Chicken team to do a deep dive into those two brands and the international or domestic franchise opportunities that their great brands offer. So the agenda, as I just mentioned, I'll do a brief introduction and an overview of the regional F&B franchises. We'll hand it over to Syed and Mohammed to introduce Burgerizer, and then on to Sayer to introduce JJ Chicken. At the end of the webinar, I'll come back on and we'll filter or field your questions and get you answers to questions that you would like to direct to Syed, Mohammed, and Sayer. So let's just talk briefly about franchises from the GCC region. First and foremost, franchising is not new to the GCC region. Franchising has been a concept that's been alive and well in the GCC for 40 years or more. And regional franchises actually started to emerge after the successful entrance of many international franchise brands, including brands from the US, United States, from the UK, and other parts of the world. It's a fact that the majority of regional franchises are in the F&B sector, but not all. The majority of the F&B sector is Western-oriented food, but again, not all. And if you talk about non-food franchises, they're typically services, B2B or B2C services and retail. So there's quite an established footprint of regional franchises across the GCC region and into North Africa and the rest of the Middle East. So just quickly, some advantages of investing in a regional franchise or regional master franchise versus acquiring a franchise from another part of the world. I think typically a regional franchise would have a better understanding of the region than brands from outside the region. That would include an understanding of culture, religion, seasonality, business norms, trends, etc. One thing that's true about the GCC is that there are a lot of commonalities from country to country, obviously in terms of language, seasons, holidays, and other trends. Typically, a regional brand would require less adaptation to enter into neighboring countries. If you're a local F&B brand or regional F&B brand, you obviously will have a halal menu. Sometimes when you look at international brands coming into the region, they have to modify the menu. If you're operating a regional F&B brand, you're you're using Arabic language for your marketing and your social media marketing and your advertising. So there's less adaptation needed there as well. There'll be geographical advantages, including same or similar time zones, travel quick, more easily, quickly, and efficiently between the countries, just short flights. And then you'll also find that regional franchises sometimes consider different market entry models other than country exclusive masters or area development. They might look at multi-unit development across a city or geographical area development within a country. So there might be more flexibility in terms of the model. So if you're going to look at acquiring a regional franchise, these are a few bullet points on things you should consider. One, the background, track record, and competitiveness of the regional brand in their home market, the reputation of the brand and franchisor, how well developed their IP platform is, their trademarks, their systems, their tools, their processes, their readiness to expand regionally and internationally, and the capability of the senior team and support team. You can do this by reading and learning about their brand. You can do it by looking at their literature, but the best way to do it is to attend a discovery day and visit them in their home market at their headquarters and their outlets. And again, with the proximity, that's something that's fairly easy to do. Moving on, I just want to touch on some regional brands, GCC F B Franchises. I won't go into a lot of detail, but a point I want to make here is that you have GCC F B Franchises that are offering what I would say are regional products and fare, such as Batil from the U.A.E. Batil also has some history and origins in Saudi. You've got Al Fanar, which is great Emirati food from the USE, and then you've got Sadadin, which is a bakery from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which specializes in desserts and treats and has a lot of locally flavored desserts and treats. So these are examples of Gulf F&B franchises with products that originated from the region. And then for Gulf franchises that are using products or offering products that don't necessarily originate from the region, you've got brands like Icons, which is coffee, Wok Boys, which is Asian food, Grub Shack, which is Western QSR or comfort food. These hail from U.A.E, both Icons and Wok Boys from U.A.E and Grub Shack from Bahrain. And then in the QSR sector, you've got brands like Herfi and Al Baik from Saudi, and Chick King from the United Arab Emirates. So all offering Western or non-Middle East F&B offerings. Just to give you some examples of non-food franchises, these are three brands from two different GCC countries, Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, Arabian Oud, Ashkar Ali, and Abdul Samad Al Karashi. These brands are offering Oriental perfumes. All have started to expand through franchising beyond their borders internationally. Then if you want to see some regional franchises, non-food franchises that are in other segments, you've got Plazy, which is a child-targeted play concept from Bahrain. You've got FNL, which is a Jordanian casual clothing licensor, franchisor, and out of Dubai or U.A.E, you've got Reliance FM, which is a facilities maintenance franchise that's done very well across the U.A.E and is expanding regionally. And then, of course, we've got our featured brands I mentioned earlier, which is Burgerizer, freshly grilled burgers from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and JJ Chicken, fast casual grilled chicken from Dubai. I won't spend a lot of time on these two brands because you're going to get a detailed introduction from the professionals that own and manage these brands, and they'll be able to do a much better job than I would ever be able to do introducing their own brands. This is a brief introduction to my company, World Franchise Associates. We're a sales and marketing and development company out of the UK. We offer franchise marketing services, development programs, franchise advisory programs, and government and institutional programs. Basically, we're into all things franchising. I won't spend too much time on this. If you're interested in talking to me or learning about our services, you can get the details from this presentation, which will be shared with you following the webinar. We also have a World Franchise Center portal, which features more than 200 brands from many different countries, more than 30 countries. And both Burgerizer and JJ Chicken and many of the other brands I just presented to you are featured on this website, along with brands from all over the world. So you're welcome to visit the World Franchise Center and learn more about franchise opportunities with our clients. On that note, I'm going to thank you for giving me the opportunity to do the introduction. And I'm going to switch off my screen. And we're going to welcome Mr. Syed Riaz Ahmed, the International Expansion Manager for Burgerizer. And he's joined again, as I mentioned, by Mr. Mohammed Al-Ruwaig, the Chairman of Burgerizer. Handing it over to you, Syed and Mohammed. Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Solomon. Thank you for this opportunity. And let me introduce our chairman, Mr. Mohammed Al-Ruwaig, and is the founder of Burgerizer.
So I think you need to move the.
Okay, sorry.
So Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Sayyid. First, I would say that I'm really glad to be with you guys here today and this panel. In brief, for me, it's very important to attend today, even partly to participate with Sayyid, my colleague Sayyid, in this event, because franchising and going international with Burgerizer is strategic for us. So we do look at it as a strategic choice, as an important choice that we want to make and give it enough resources and support. About Burgerizer, we like to call ourselves a quality burger chain. We are now we claim that we are the fastest growing fresh burger chain in Saudi. We have nearly 100 branches today, I think 97. We are not too far from the QSR. Actually, we consider ourselves a QSR, but we are a quality QSR restaurant. How we focus basically on the freshness and the quality of our meat and products, ingredients in general that we use. And I'm going to show you later the positioning of the brand. So if we look at briefly the Burgerizer, so we started in 2009. There was a key turning point in 2014. We changed it from establishment to be a limited company. We reached 28 stores in 2015. In 2017, we started going outside Riyadh, and we were really surprised with how the brand was performing outside Riyadh, which shows how strong the brand is. The East region, especially, we did have a very good results, and due to that, we did have a very strong presence. And that was in 2018 when we started. So in 2019, we start looking at franchising as a strategic choice, and we didn't do it, but we start preparing for it. We have Sayyid, we have a committee headed by our board member, Mr. James, who is just going after the franchising to make sure that our file and our case is ready before going there. This again shows how strategic it is for us, and that it's not just a presence that we want to do. We want to penetrate really the market there. In 2021, in 2022, we had the pandemic turnaround. The results were really good. It's already announced in the stock market, because in 2021, we went IPO in Saudi stock market, Numu. If I will go to the positioning, which is the second slide. So Sayed is trying to put the second slide. So freshness is very important for us. What's interesting is that freshness have been always on the top 6 drivers for the customers based on the tracking of the customer behavior and feedback that we get every 2 months, which is, even if you look here, it's even number 1, and was in that wave that we were looking at. So we believe we are in the right place, in the right area, talking to the customer with the language that they understand, with the benefit that is relevant to them. Simply on the right side, you can see where are we exactly. So if you look in general at the generic brands, let's say even big brands like McDonald's, we see that we are above from quality point of view, but also little premium versus them, where we see that this gives us access to the QSR huge market, yet with a clear differentiator. And we are a little bit far from the gourmet burger segment, which is very compared to the QSR market is relatively very small. And that's why you see us focusing more on that area. So pricing is very important, locations are very important, and I think that's what Sayed is gonna share with you later. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Good evening, viewers. I'm back again. So why Burgerizer? We are the largest fresh burger chain in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, as mentioned by our chairman. We provide outstanding support with dedicated team for franchisee. I'll be discussing more in detail on another separate slide with details of support. We offer appealing product at attractive prices throughout the year, all seasons. We have a simple real estate footprints. The cost of entry investment is low to medium, sorry. And our current annual turnover per unit is just under $1 million US. That's, to be exact, is $850,000. This is our central kitchen where we produce proprietary products. Basically, we do the production in the night and we deliver it to each single unit in the morning. So every branch receives fresh. These 4 core proprietary products for the franchisees can expect are fresh beef, fresh chicken, our fresh buns, and sauce. These central kitchen, if you see in the picture, its capacity is 350 branches. At the moment, we are operating 97, and the space is almost 1,000 square meters. What's in the menu? Here, if you see, we are actually very simple in our menu. We are limited with items. The reason is it's easy to operate. Simple yet variety of products through our existing core products. Example, pomegranate as a burger coming out from our classic burgers. Our menu architect taps into different customers' need and corresponding price point. We offer suitable offerings and options for targeted customers that fits different occasions, from individual meals to groups. If you see the type of branches and the kitchen on the picture, we have a regular showroom plaza, we have standalone branch and Casper. We focus more on standalone and Casper because of its profitabilities. We have 2 simple kitchen designs. One is a high volume, another one is a standard kitchen. Well, if you see the investment and return, a Casper branch could cost around $120,000 and the size is under 70 square meter. For a regular branch of a size of 120 square meter, the investment cost will be around $200,000. For a standalone, it's 267 roughly, and the size is between 200 to 300 square meters. All these are average numbers based on Saudi. So having said this, the estimates shown average based on current Saudi market, but investment and return will vary depending on conditions of each branch in KSA and international market. Although appropriate use of our system and process can contribute to attractive rate of returns on investment. I was talking about support. Here we go into the details. Outstanding support is what we provide. Burgerizer provides initial training and ongoing support. There is field support in franchisees' own market. And there is ongoing business support from franchisees' dedicated department. We have a comprehensive operational manual. Our modular training programs, collaborative supply chain procurement and quality team. We have strategic and tactical marketing assistance provided to the franchisees in each market. Full support on all designs and constructions, real estate and construction advisors, adaptive designs and construction process, location selections for all varieties and kitchen designs. That's all. Thank you. For more details, please do get on to this link and details. We will be happy to answer your queries. I will leave it to Troy again. Thanks for getting us to this platform. Also thank the TGFM and Solomon.
Great, Syed and Mohammed. Thank you for that introduction. And we'll come back to you when Sayer is finished with some questions about some of the points that you raised in your introduction that are just coming in now. On that note, I'll switch off my video. I'll hand it over to you, Sayer. This is Mr. Sayer Imad, Group General Manager for Almed Retail, the group that owns JJ Chicken, among other Dubai-based brands. So over to you, Sayer.
Hello, hi everybody. Thank you, Troy, for the introduction. Thank you, Said, for the lovely presentation. Today, I just want to present to you JJ Chicken. Can you just 1 second? Yes, so I'm the general manager of Almed Retail Holding. Almed it has been in the F&B sector for a long time, and one of its most successful brands is JJ Chicken. JJ Chicken is a fast casual concept. It's a QSR concept, but it's at the high end. It has been created in Dubai, U.A.E. since 10 years back, focusing on mainly charcoal grilled chicken with healthy food, offering high quality. And when I say high quality, our chicken mainly distinguished by being halal, of course, grain-fed and no hormones. And tackling the healthy environment, but with the fast pace that everybody day-to-day is suffering. So JJ, it has different concepts and different types. What specializes JJ is mainly having a large menu going from the soup, starters, salads, appetizers, main courses, and desserts. But at the same time, it's so simple, being focused only on chicken. So that's also give him the competitive advantage of being able, when it comes to operation, being simple, straightforward, and requiring at the same time low capex, which is a main pillar when it comes to an investor that mainly looking for the payback period or to the return on investment. So this is one of the main things. As we mentioned, that the originality comes from being an authentic charcoal grill, healthy and fresh at the same time with a simple operation. This is mainly JJ Chicken. JJ mainly, the name of JJ comes from the Arabic word. This is Jij, which is mean chicken in Arabic. The logo is simple, as you can see. So here is the menu. As you can see, we have, it's all fresh, it's all healthy, yet it's a QSR, a fast casual, but at the same time, it's a healthy food where people can enjoy it, and at the same time, not being afraid of not being healthy or looking to the deep fried things or this side. So the menu is very varied. As you can see, we have the burgers, the wraps, the sandwiches, salads, soups, appetizers. We have different model, and this is what makes it more attractive, the concept. So the concept is adaptable and flexible. So we have the first model, which is the food court, being in malls. We have the other concept, which is the high street and a street location, standalone shop. We have the food truck, and we have the kiosk. And also recently, we are introducing the dark kitchen in areas where only delivery concentration. So this is also will help to increase the returns on the investments made. So we have about 5 types of location or models of JJ Chicken. Each one, it has different investments, of course. It has different econometrics when it comes to capex or when it comes to operations. As you can see, this is the street location. This is the food court. Here we have also the food truck. This is the kiosk. We have it all here in Dubai, for example, on the beach. Very small, 150 square foot only, very low in capex, and it's fast return. This is the food truck. The beauty of the food truck is that it can be placed in all different locations, concerts, events, schools, parks. So you can shift it wherever you want. Also is low investments required. So when it comes to franchising, JJ Chicken definitely spread all over U.A.E. Today we have 11 branches. We are expanding into India very soon, and also to Iraq. So this is the two international existence that we have currently as we speak. We provide full support. Actually, when it comes to franchising, we believe that the relation between franchisee and franchisor, it should be perfect, because they need to believe that it's kind of a partnership. So the franchisee is mainly our representative, and we make sure that his success is our success. So that's why we provide full support across the whole value chain, starting by the selection of the location, helping on the design. So we have a full design manual when it comes to engineering, all these kind of things. We help him in choosing the location. We do some kind of location analysis together with him on the ground to make sure that this is the right location, as it is a very important when it comes to F&B operations. The training fully provided. We have 2 types of training. One provided on ground in the central kitchen of JJ Chicken. Another one, a full team from JJ will be sent to the area where we are opening to make sure full training is given to the full team, and we have a smooth and a soft launch, so minimizing mistakes or gaps. Besides this, we help the entrepreneur when it comes to marketing, definitely that need to be adapted to the country where we are, but full support when it comes to marketing plan, support on social media, everything, activities that it need to be done. So we handhold them across, especially at the first stage, to make sure and ensure his success. And we have different franchising model. It could be an individual unit franchise, could be area development, could be territory franchise. As we mentioned, this is the kind of support that we are providing across. One most important item or pillar that we also focus on is the technology part when it comes to JJ. So we have a proper POS linked to a proper system that connects all the platforms and aggregators to our POS with an ERP system that gives the solution and enables the investor or the entrepreneur to control the business being wherever. So this is in brief JJ Chicken. We believe strongly that the concept is really unique with all the advantages that it has, being a concept that focusing on one item is a chicken, requiring low capex, a high return on investment, adaptable and flexible when it comes to the model to fit different location and different customer base, and full support from the JJ mother company. Please, if you have any other questions, that the presentation will be shared with everybody. And if there is any further question on this thing, please feel free to ask or to raise. Thank you again. Roy, I leave it for you.
Thank you very much, Sayer, for your great introduction to JJ Chicken. Much appreciated. Welcome back, Syed. One observation from watching both of the presentations, and something I obviously understood prior to the webinar, is that the uniqueness of both of your concepts, Syed and Sayer, is that and Mohammed, is that you're competing at the top end of the QSR, quick casual segment, and that there's a focus on freshness and quality and health with both your offerings. Not a question, just an observation that I made, which we may talk more about. I'll start with the question for Burgerizer, and then I'll ask the same question of JJ Chicken. So Mohammed and Syed, I want you to tell our audience what are the lessons you have learned from competing in Saudi in what is a very competitive sector, being the burger sector, that you would use to help your franchisees in other countries compete in their country? So what are the valuable lessons you learned that you would teach or impart to your franchisees in the region as you start your international expansion?
If I would comment on that, in general, we did develop a strategy with mix of learnings. But I think what is key here is that being consistent and following this strategy. And because you will be distracted with many things, is very important. The learnings we have in 2022 is way different than the learnings we had in 2009 when we started. Many mistakes, many issues we did that we will make sure that our partners are not gonna do. We also are, we believe we are mature enough to understand that also markets are different, and we need to be very careful here what to apply in every market. However, when we started again in 2009, many burger joints started later after us, 10, 11, or 2012, following the hype of what we did and the success we had. But not a lot of them are here today. And I think the key point is being consistent, being clear on the value proposition that you have, and just go after it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mohammed. So, Sayer, the same question for you. You're in a similarly competitive segment in chicken. You know, one of the world's largest franchises is KFC, of course, McDonald's in the burger category, and many others. So what advice would you give, or will you give, to your franchisees in other countries in terms of competing with the big boys and others in the saturated segment, from what you've learned in Dubai?
Thank you, Troy, for the question. Actually, yes, they are. Our competitors are not. We have big players like KFC, Jollibee, Texas Fried Chicken. But to be frank with you, we don't believe that they are our direct competitors, because they are all deep fried chicken. And this is a differentiator, or what mainly makes JJ Chicken different and enables us to compete in such competitive market, is that it's charcoal grilled, which is totally different offering with different value for the customers. So our customers are totally different than the KFC customers And if you can see in all the locations that we are in, for example, in the malls, we are next to KFC, and it's a totally different choice. Yes, it is chicken, but it's totally different. And even our prices, our offering, everything is totally different. And this is why we always, our slogan says that this is where a tasty meat healthy. So yes, you can be always having fast food, QSR, but it's at the same time healthy. And this is, especially nowadays, health awareness is becoming very, very important across countries, across ages, which is helping us so much. So yes, this is how we were able to mainly compete with these big players.
Thank you, Sire. Staying on the topic, because the answers were very interesting, and going back to Burgerizer, in consideration of what you've said, if a franchisee in one of your neighboring countries was getting ready to plan their, what I would call, market entry and market penetration strategy, I know, Mohammed, you said that create a strategy and stick to it and don't get distracted, which I think is great entrepreneurial advice to anyone. But if the franchisee in strategic discussions said, should we take locations that are side by side with the big players, or should we compete away from the big players? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, be close to the big players. I would say this straight away. Now, to be fair as well, we need to see it case by case, situation by situation, of course. But in general, as a principle, yes, we know our source of business is the QSR low quality burger or junk, or maybe I don't want to use this word, but low quality or cheap affordable burgers. We get our business from there. So normally, yes, we should be not too far from them.
Excellent. Sire, what's your thoughts on that same question? Would you tell your franchisees to compete away, or not be afraid to go side by side?
Not necessary to be close in general, because we look always to our customer base. Who are our customers first? So we usually do market research, and we do about the whole market where we are penetrating, or where our franchisees are. So for example, in malls, we are next to them. In high streets, no, we are not. So it depends where is our customer base.
I understand. So I think both of you are saying that you have to be strategic about the locations, but you shouldn't be afraid to compete side by side with some of the big players.
Exactly.
Yes.
Understood. That's an interesting answer. Thank you. I want to ask both parties now about your development strategy outside of your home country, starting with Burgerizer. In terms of what you're looking for, so that some of the audience who may be interested understand, in terms of a franchise operator in places like Qatar, Bahrain, U.A.E, are you looking for a master to take the rights for the whole country, or area developer to take the rights, or would you also consider multi-unit development arrangements? What's your objective and strategy in terms of your international expansion?
Okay, I will take that, Troy. Thank you for the question. We are looking for master development, area development per market, and this is our strategy. And first phase market, we would like to penetrate in Qatar and Bahrain. Reason being, it's close to our present market in terms of logistical support, in terms of full-fledged support that the franchisees would expect to be 100% success.
Okay, thank you, Syed. Sire, how about JJ Chicken? What are you looking for with your international expansion?
Same. When we look to the GCC region, we always prefer to have a master franchise for the whole country. We don't look, or we don't prefer to have area development or individual franchises. Although yet we help whomever the investor will be dealing with as a master franchise, he will be having the right to sub-franchise, being individual or area development. So we are open for such an option, but as a sub-franchising, not directly. Yes, but we believe that no, in this region, it should be a master franchise, which helps more the brand and serves better the customers.
Sorry, I think Syed mentioned that the focus of Burgerizer was initially neighboring countries, Qatar and Bahrain, which are accessible by land, obviously.
Yeah.
For JJ Chicken, tell me about your target expansion. What countries you're looking at, both in the Middle East and if beyond the Middle East? I know you mentioned India previously.
Yes, currently we're finalizing India, so we are into the agreement stage. The same for Iraq. The same. Our main priority here in the region is mainly Saudi Arabia and Egypt, as we believe they are big markets and there is a huge potential, especially that Saudi Arabia is considered one of the most countries where they consume chicken. So it's a chicken country. People love chicken there. So that will be something very attractive for us. At the second stage, definitely the other GCC countries like Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman. But as we speak now, the main focus is Saudi Arabia and Egypt. When it comes to other part of the world, we also have a serious discussion with people in the Far East, places like Malaysia, Indonesia. These countries also are very interested also to be there.
Excellent. Thank you. I tend to have tried to stop talking about the pandemic and moving on from the pandemic. But one question that I think is relevant to both brands is, and I'll start with you, Syed and Mohammed, what lessons have you learned over the last 2 years that you've applied to your business that you think will be applicable even after we're way beyond the pandemic in terms of managing your business in Saudi and your franchisees managing their business in other countries?
Okay, that's a good question. So there was some choices that we did make. During the pandemic, we discovered that it was a good decisions or direction that we had. One example is the delivery focus for us, whether through a third party or through our own team. So even when the third party stopped working for a while, we were having our own team or our own structure with outsourcing some of them to do that. I believe this was a big help, and we were from the beginning saying, no, we don't want to just rely on the third party. We want to also have our own delivery. The second thing is we did have items in the menu that focuses on gathering and on at home as well, which is the barbecue box. And I think one key thing is focusing and acting immediately on the winning items to communicate on them immediately did help us to pass the pandemic with. We look back now and I think we did pass it with 0 losses, to be very honest with you. I mean, when we look back, we did very well. We did grow our profit, our sales. And the third thing, which is also acting quickly with the situation, from whether the marketing and the operation, is, for example, launching our Burgerizer box. So it's different than the barbecue. It's a ready product. So I think that the fact that we did understand quickly what the market was looking for during the pandemic, people are at home, and they are gathering together, and the families are together at home, they need something to do. So all that, all these quick actions did help a lot in reducing the effect of the pandemic. So understanding the market quickly and acting on it is key.
Excellent, thank you. And how about you, Sire? Tell me what you learned from the pandemic, and that will have lasting effect on you and your business in the U.A.E. and on your franchisees.
Well, actually, JJ Chicken has good part of it delivery, so we adapted quickly to the situation. The problem that the percentage of delivery increased quickly, especially through the different aggregators and platforms that they are very strong here in U.A.E. But what we learned most is the trust of customers. And this is what we should always value, because this is what helped us to continue having the delivery. Especially at the start of the pandemic, people were very scared and afraid, and trusting your brand and the procedures that you are taking to protect them and protect your employees was very important. That encouraged them to keep ordering and delivery from this brand and not from the others. So having the trust of your customers for this problem or this pandemic or for any other problem in the future, that showed that this is a very important factor that we need always to look at. When it comes to the benefits we got from the pandemic, that because the delivery increased too much and we were counting on the aggregators, we were able to work more efficiently with them and play on their different parameters. The production time to make it faster, the delivery make it more efficient. So we worked on these small things to provide a proper service when it comes to the delivery experience itself. How to deliver, having gloves, having all these procedures for the drivers. So these were very important, especially in 2020 when the pandemic was at its peak. Also, the pandemic and the situation opened a different opportunity for us. So we saw that some locations are strictly based on delivery. So which opened for us the options of having a dark kitchen instead of investing in full-fledged brick and mortar shop. So we went into the dark kitchen or the cloud kitchen option, delivering to our customers where only delivery is required. So this was before the pandemic, not an option for us. So yeah, this is what mainly we learned from the COVID-19 situation, actually.
I think that, thank you, Sayer. And I think that a couple of things that come out of those comments from both parties, people that acted and innovated quickly suffered much less than people that moved slowly in terms of, and particularly in terms of delivery, whether it was increasing delivery sales through aggregators or your own fleet, whether it was packaging and getting the food out quickly, more quickly than you might in a dine-in circumstance, because you've got to provide for the delivery time, making sure that you can serve those quality products that you guys are looking at hot and fresh. So the delivery method, the packaging is important. I guess these are pretty critical to both brands. Is that right?
100%. We worked also with our suppliers on the packaging to have the French fries reaching homes fresh and crunchy, because with the delivery it loses its value. So they come up with special packaging for this, for example. This is one of the things that happened also.
Syed, you wanted to say something?
Just to elaborate on what Mr. Muhammad was telling on the barbecue, we used to produce fresh patties raw, serve it to the customers, grilled to their choice, to their way, either at home, office, or anywhere outside barbecue. That was one of the areas we learned a lot, and we were transparent enough with our customers what we actually do inside our branches with the patties, whether it's beef or chicken or bun and all the other vegetables built up. Everything was served to them at their way of customizing the burger at their choice.
Excellent. I've got one more question that's just come in, and then I'm going to let both of you have a final parting comment, and then we'll wrap it up. The question, I'll start with you, Sire. The question is, can you please describe the profile of your typical JJ Chicken customers? I suppose roughly the age group and socioeconomic group that they come from.
To be frank with you, we don't look at the age group as a main component, because we believe behind the success of any business or any franchise is a team. So we look at the entrepreneur itself. Yes, definitely, it is very important that he has the excitement and the enthusiasm to have this brand and share with us the same values of JJ Chicken. This is very important. To be financially capable of satisfying whatever requirements of the franchise, to have a vision, because that's very important for us and for franchising in general. Yani, he has to have a vision of a growth, mainly thinking big, and that's very, very, very important to the success of the business itself. We look also to the team that's surrounding the investor, because this is a key factor to succeed. So this is in general the type of business. We definitely prefer to have F&B experience, or if this in the sector, but if not, then we don't close the door, because franchising started because of this. Because the franchising mainly it's for people who doesn't have the F&B experience. They want to take the experience, the professionalism, the expertise of other who tried and really suffered and put a lot of time and effort to make it happen. So this is the profile in general that we look at.
Excellent. And Syed, from Burgerizer's point, what are you looking for?
I think similar to Sair, what he said is almost the same, and we are also looking at franchisee with same passion and same culture as we do, and same carving for fresh grilled burgers in the market, with the age group of focused on youngsters, mainly between age group of 16 to 24, both male and females.
Got it. So I suppose in selecting master franchisees for your target markets, you're looking for somebody that has both the head for the business in terms of experience and capability, but they also need to have the heart for the business. You both mentioned the vision and the believing in the brand and so on. So head and heart are both, in my opinion, very important.
Agreed.
All right. So let's. I won't have a question, but Sayer, I'll give you a chance. Any final things you would like to say? Any comments you'd like to impart to the audience on about JJ Chicken and your aspirations to grow your business internationally through franchising?
No, I just want to thank you, Troy, for organizing this seminar, and please, for any questions, any inquiries, the presentation will be shared as you mentioned before. We are ready to answer any inquiries when it comes to whatever details being related to JJ Chicken, being on the investment side or being on the operation side. And we look forward to have really good investors that really believe in the brand and wanted to grow and have a successful business.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Syed?
Well, it's similar. It is the same. What Syed says is almost the same words. Thanks, Troy. Really appreciate your efforts. Also, the TGFM, and on behalf of our chairman also, I'd like to thank for bringing us on this platform, and we hope that we see good potential franchise, what we are looking for.
Excellent. So on that note, I'll thank both of the speakers. Very professional, very organized. It was a pleasure moderating this webinar with both of you. For our audience, I would remind you that you'll get the recording of this webinar if you're interested in opportunities with Burgerizer or JJ Chicken, or you want to learn more about World Franchise Associates and our services for both franchisors and franchisees, please feel free to contact us. And I'll close with reminding you all that the next webinar is going to be 8th of March. So next month, same time, 4 p.m. U.A.E. time, 4 to 5 p.m. And it's a continuation of what we're talking about in this webinar, which is more about regional or homegrown franchises in the GCC. So please do join that webinar. You'll be getting additional information from the organizers over the coming weeks. And I wish you all the best in all of your endeavors. Again, thank you for spending an hour with us, and have a great day or afternoon or evening, wherever you may be. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks again, Sarah and Syed. Well done. And
Thank you.
Mohammed.
Thanks, Troy. Thanks, TGFM. Thank you, guys.
Take care.